to And Here's Modi. There we go. Welcome to And Here's Modi. What's up, everybody? Godfrey in the house.
Yo, I like that music.
You
man.
like that
It's very
song?
retro. Very retro-y. Reminds me, I feel like I was in a Tarantino film for a second.
Right. It's a little Hasidic, too. It's a
No,
little
Hasidic.
Jewish.
Right.
It's a little,
Yeah, it was very
yeah, it's
Fiddler
kinda-
on the Roof. Dope. Kind of dope. Like, I mean, let's be, that roof dance was the shit. I'm sorry.
was the roof-
The thing they were doing with the bottles, I was like, yo, that was hot.
That's a hot thing.
I would steal
Well, I
that.
can't believe I'm sitting here with you. I haven't sat with you in a while.
What? Long time. It used to be cellar sit-downs.
No, we used to have cellar sit-downs.
Yeah.
I've known you since I began working the cellar. 94.
97. I was 97.
97, so I was before you there.
Yeah, you were born. Wow, yeah. So I
Wow.
met you in 97.
But you were working before the cellar. You were working.
No, I was more comic strip. Like me, Tom Pop, we were more the comic strip dudes in Boston.
Yeah.
And then I went over to the cellar, and then you would see William Stevens sitting in the front, grumpy as fuck.
Grumpy as all
and
hell.
I'd be like, oh, is this comedy? And Louis Schaefer's horrible ass would be in the front going, not gay, Louis Schaefer. Now, remember that shit?
Yeah, before it was a packed show, there was a guy outside.
And it used to be empty.
It used to be
in there.
empty, and he'd be outside bringing people in, comedy show,
yeah.
whatever, and
They had
then
to-
he'd be on the stage. He'd be like, we just saw a show with him on
my
stage.
God.
He'd bark them in and then run the whole show and ruin everybody's life.
He invented barking.
He did. He was really good at it.
And
he was
and
fantastic at
it
it.
was a show. And it was a show.
It was a show. He did it for Boston. And when they kicked him out of, I think, Cellar, he went to Boston to ruin everybody's life over there down the street. And then when he left to go to London, no one gave a fuck.
No one cared.
They were like,
Nobody
bye,
cared. He went
bitch.
to London.
Fuck
Bye.
out of here. I remember when he left, he goes, Godfrey, I'm going to London. Good. And I hope you don't get an accent. I hope you keep
He
your...
got married at the end,
He
right?
someone actually said, that's the guy for me.
Wow.
Oof.
Wow. No, he wasn't horrible.
I know, but he was...
The act was...
Sometimes
the
he
act
was... No. I mean, he was funny.
Yeah.
I just didn't like him as a person. He would shit on a lot of comedians. He would like not let he would say, hey, you have a spot, then he'd cancel it on people. He did a lot of fucked up shit. I saw him do it, and I'm not talking about his act. I'm talking about him. He was just, because he had that little power with his little clipboard.
Right.
Fucker.
Well, he was running a show, but now
He was
it's
good, but he
different.
was being an asshole, though.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, but other than that, bye, bitch.
Bye. So you and I were working at the cellar, and you and I were hosting for a while.
Oh, right?
You were hosting.
They don't understand.
Yep.
When we were hosting at the Cellar, it was 9 to 2 in the morning or 9 to 3 sometimes. It was straight. It wasn't
Right, yeah.
split up in shows. We were hosting for 5 hours straight.
And-
You know what I mean?
and
And
you
we
were-
had to hold the receipts and pay money.
Right,
and
I was
all
talking about that with when I had
That's
the Vecchione on. When
insane.
Vecchione was on, yeah,
They
we were
don't
talking about
I'm
that.
telling
yeah, they
you.
don't know.
They don't know. They put us through the fucking ringer.
So
Like
we went through it, and
we
then-
went
but-
through it. And you had how many comics on there? There'd probably be like 10, 15, and then what if someone drops in?
Right.
Show moves on like, this
or
person
if you and Artie decide to do a half hour at 2 a.m. Right?
But it didn't even matter how fast you went. You still getting out after 2.
Yeah.
You would go because some comedians like Rogel, he ain't getting off yet.
right.
Greg be like this. They gave me a light. I'm
But
not gonna
back
get
in the
off
day,
yet."
you and I we had time. We'd sit there
Yeah,
and we'd
of
sit
course,
there.
had
We'd
time.
talk.
We go up and down. It was
Yeah,
great.
it was
Manny when Manny was alive.
Yeah, when Manny. And we're just now.
Okay, but say who all of this is.
This is
because
all the people at the Comedy Cellar. Manny was the owner. He was alive back then. and,
Menachem Dworman.
Nice.
Menachem Dworman.
Menachem Dworman.
Mendel Dworman.
Mendel.
Mendel was his middle name.
Mendel.
Yeah.
Menachem Mendel Dworman.
Yeah.
Ooh, you got the middle name.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you're a Jewish man. You should know these things.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I performed. Oh my God! I just said perform. I sang at his funeral. Do you remember that? Were you at the funeral?
No.
Manny's
You
funeral.
can't. You're a cantor.
Yeah. So Manny's funeral was there,
Yeah.
and everybody came up and said some words. It was really sad. He died of cancer. It was really harsh.
Brain. Yeah.
And then I came on and I sang like the songs, like the Psalm 23, and then the,
Oh, wow.
you know, all that. And then I finished. And everybody was like, didn't know what to do. And Patrice O'Neill just starts going.
like the bully in an '80s movie. He's like this.
It's exactly how. And it was
Rudy.
and Nick DiPaolo goes, "Oh, great! He's trying to Jew up some more spots over here." It was. We were talking about who
Of
was
course,
on,
Nick DiPaolo would say some shit like
who was on the other day here. We were talking about that the comics funerals are the funniest things in the world.
Yeah, they're funny.
Yeah,
they're very
yeah.
funny because that's how he would want it. Man, he was a funny man too.
But even though you and I, this episode's after 9/11, there was just something on Twitter now, about the Comedy Cellar.
I remember
9/11 happened on a Tuesday, right?
Like a Tuesday. I remember it was in the morning. I woke up. I was in Harlem. And I could smell the smoke. And my neighbor, he has this big ass pit bull. His name was Patrick. And Patrick was one of these guys that was just always up, always like paranoid, smoked weed a lot, had a big ass pit bull.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, Godfrey, get up, get up. I'm like, what the fuck, Patrick? He's like, get up. The buildings are on fire, man. So the shit's on fire. I'm like, what? Turn on TV. I smell the smoke. The dog's barking. It was the craziest shit. That was when I woke up to 9/11.
I woke up.
And my phones were dead too. The phones were dead. I couldn't call anybody.
You were in Harlem?
I was in Harlem. My phone, it was the cordless phone was dead because it shut down. A lot of shit was shut down.
Really?
I was in Harlem and I could smell that shit.
I got a phone call from my manager at the time. He says, put the TV on. And I see the building. I see one of the buildings already hit.
Yeah.
I go to my roof. I was on 11th between 1st and 2nd, and I see the second plane go in.
Get the
out
of here.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was incredible.
Oof.
And then it was
Jeez,
it was crazy. So anyway, so the Comedy Cellar for 2 nights didn't do a show, and then
Remember
Thursday
for like
night,
a week they blocked off, and the Cellar. You got to burn that bitch for it to shut down.
Yeah.
And it stayed.
In the flood. Ida was a flood just now. And,
right,
and
they were in it. They were showing.
No, the comics went up on stage with the snorkel. The comics had the snorkel, and we went on stage. Hi, how are you? Good to be here.
And this next guy coming up.
Looking for Nemo. Looking for Nemo.
Holding the mic up out of the water.
Yeah, no, but they closed down, and then that Thursday they opened up again, and you and I were on the show.
Yes.
So somehow somebody got a copy of this, and there was a big Twitter thing. I can't believe the Comedy Cellar. Right? Wasn't that the thing?
Well,
hello. Do you
I'm
follow?
thinking.
Yeah.
Well, listen. Let me tell you what happened. I remember doing when the Cellar had kind of started to open because they were getting bodies out down in the village. You had fire trucks.
Yeah.
Construction were all dusted up, and we had to do a show. Like way downtown, closer to the explosion, we had to do a show. Remember Sandy Duncan?
Yes.
She played Peter Pan back in the 80s and shit.
Yep.
Her and her husband had a little theater show for the workers.
Yep.
So I think Chris Rock, it was a few comedians. We had to do comedy for construction people, and they're all dusty and bloody. And they sat in this theater, and we performed, and I'm shitting on Arabs, and they're laughing.
Oh, no, back then, yeah.
I had to. I was just like, yo, I was just going in on them, and they weren't washed. They were all coming from the wreckage to watch this show. And then I remember doing shows at the Cellar when it opened up. It was me, Marin, you, DiPaolo. I remember Mitch Fatel. And Nick DiPaolo got in a fight because we were up at the table, and Mitch does the thing. Oh, I like girls, so oh, you're
Yeah,
so
yeah.
pretty.
Mitch Patel is like, if you don't know, it's like when you're watching, you would think that they took the janitor and they pulled the broom out of his hand and said, why don't you go do a tight 10?
I
Why don't you go do a tight 10?
I knew he was going to go shit on him.
You know, I don't know, not just, no, it's an act. He
when
gets laughs
when
and
you
he's
meet
funny.
him, he's not that guy.
He's not that guy. He's not that guy.
But
He's not that guy. He's funny.
He's fun,
It's
very
a
funny.
character.
It's a character. He goes, oh my God, you're so hot. And he gets hot women. Remember, he would get a lot of tall women because he's a very short guy. And then he comes upstairs after doing his act.
Yeah.
And Nick DiPaolo's just angry as usual. Nick's just like, motherfucker. I go, what the fuck's wrong? And Mitch Fatel comes to the table. And he goes, hey, guys. He goes, hey, Mitch, really? You didn't have any jokes on what the fuck just happened? Our two towers? But you're just fucking acting like a little kid?
Oh, wow.
I'm in the middle of this.
I didn't know this happened.
And he goes, I mean, I can do, it's my act. I can do, I mean, I was funny. It doesn't mean I have to talk about that.
Right.
You know, why are you telling me what to, he goes, no, what the fuck? Why are you acting like a fucking baby? No. And you should be fucking talking about, I go, man, Nick, leave him alone, dude.
You got to address, he
goes, how the fuck don't you address what just fucking happened?
I remembered all my jokes where I had all those jokes. It's when the banner began. You remember on CNN, they had the banner on the bottom. I used to have jokes about that and Bush and the dumb things he did. I had like a whole set, and I knew it had a shelf life of a week. Right. And it was, when you have such a
you have this chunk. You can smash on Arabs. You can get all that in. Because everybody was like, we need some fucking relief, and you better talk about these. And we don't know who blew the shit up. We just said, fuck it. They said Arabs, we gonna make fun of those motherfuckers. You know what I mean? It was one of those things.
Yeah, it was. But what I was saying was, it was. The Cellar began doing shows right away, and it's not a bad thing. People need to go and laugh.
Yeah, they needed it.
I'll tell you what happened. So the first time that was when I was doing my tour with Stuttering John and the guys from the Howard Stern show. So our first show was in Atlantic City, was that Saturday. So we were supposed to do this theater of 500 seats. And then we were the only show this is the Saturday after 9/11. So now no acts could fly in. There's no Celine Dion, no Barry Manilow.
No nothing.
Remember, the air was closed.
Closed, that's right.
So we were the only act in town. They moved us to a theater of 2,500 seats.
Oh, my God.
And it was sold out. We did it raising money for families.
Yeah, of course.
You got to you cannot be like, hey, buy tickets and merch.
Yeah.
Here's merch, right? And who was in the audience? Donald Trump. And he came backstage, and it was in the Marina or whatever, one of his hotels, and actually, on top of that, a funny story. Anyway, so he was a fan of Stern, and so he came to the show.
Very big fan. I really enjoyed the show. You're great.
He came backstage, and it was the guys from the Stern, and me, I think DiPaolo, Stuttering John, and the guy with the small head. Beetlejuice,
the black dude, the crazy looking dude.
Yeah, crazy looking, and
just an edgy show.
And Trump invited us to lunch the next day. Now, Trump, this is the first time he ever drove because the airways were closed. He couldn't take his helicopter, his little planes over there. So
that's when Trump was kind of cool.
He was very cool.
He had a sense of humor.
I will tell you something. He sat. We had lunch with him. Yeah. This big table.
Yeah.
And he was at the head.
Of course.
And in Yiddish you say "Vier Tisch." He held the table.
Vier Tisch.
Like the Führer, Vier Tisch.
Oh,
actually,
that's German.
But it's Yiddish, German.
German.
It means to lead the table. He was hysterical. And I'm sitting here, and Melania's sitting here, and I'm looking at her.
He's been with her that long?
Yeah. So hold on. But I think they were just married, or they met, or whatever it was.
Oh.
Now, I keep looking at her like I'm looking at you, and I'm like, wow, you look so familiar. And they were huge banners of her. She was the face of the hotel. And on the key to get in the room, she was on the back of the key. And I'm looking at her and I go, you look so familiar. And he's like, that's funny. And he's like, she's the face of the hotel. I didn't put together who she was. I'm so stupid. I'm so not a pop culture.
And you know what's so funny is I just watched Jeff Ross on Talib Kweli's The Party podcast. It was really good because Jeff was talking about how disappointed he was in Trump because he was around him a lot at the roasts. And he goes, I remember when Trump had a really good sense of humor. He fucking was awesome. He had a sense of humor. He was a dick, but he had a sense of humor. He was always in different social settings. He could adjust, and then he became president and fucking lost it all. He goes, I was disappointed in him. Even when we did the roast with him, he's a fucking dick. He was just like whack. It hurt him because he was like, I know you, Donald. Like, I know you. You were like a cool dude, and then you got on this fuck shit and got all these hillbilly who you don't give a fuck about, and you started like you were just corny. As a New Yorker, especially.
Right.
100%.
When I met him, he was funny at the table.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about so we've known each other forever.
Yeah.
And in my head, there's nobody funnier than Godfrey. And the only reason why I keep continuing comedy is I just know that the fact that you're not the biggest comedian in the world means that it's not me. It's the system. Something's wrong.
Right.
Something's wrong. Right. And just because you're not the one selling out Madison, I know that the system's wrong. Right. But we always keep an eye for each other.
Always. One
time I did a movie in L.A. Remember this?
Yeah.
And you were there for pilot season or whatever reason where you were out there.
Mike Rainey?
Mike Raymond.
We
did this movie, budget of like $6. $6. No. Everybody had we had to hold the flashlight on ourselves to be like, here. I was the main actor and the grip all at once, holding the flashlight, right?
I moved the credits as they rolled.
There was one scene. So he goes, we need a comedian that's black. I go, you don't need to look and don't get your casting people involved because they'll only ruin it. I go, call Godfrey. Yes. He was there.
Yes.
2 days of shooting or 3 days of shooting, whatever it was. He came and we did this one scene where this car pulls up. Where we're in the car and I have to pull up and turn to him and say something, and he wanted to do it in one take. And we kept like 8 times doing it, and he was shooting with film.
Yeah,
so
expensive.
So we were, and Godfrey was enjoying making me laugh that I couldn't even focus. So we'd be pulling back, and before he goes, set the lights, set this, and Godfrey would go, yo, bitch, where's my fish sticks? Remember, I don't know where that's from.
It's from Sherrod. Because Sherrod always go like this. Yo, bitch, give me my fish sticks, bitch. I need my fish sticks. So and I just thought fish sticks was
I'm like, what are my lines? Getting my lines right. And he just goes, where my fish sticks at? Where my fish sticks at? And I can't catch my breath. And I got to do this.
And Michael Raymond's like, okay, we're going to do that again.
And action.
And he's pissed.
And I pull up and I look at Godfrey and I go,
and I'm like,
and with film, and film is expensive.
And Mike's like this. No, it's cool. We're just gonna do that one more time. And Mike's a big man, big old fucking white dude, and we're like, this party's probably.
And then there's this movie, or not this movie, the series that's shot in New York called Deadbeats.
Okay, well now Deadbeats is a hit series on Hulu. Hulu hit series, and so I get a part on there. Me and Dean Edwards, we get a part. It's like you play these ghosts that like becomes, you're like a spirited ghost or whatever. And I'm on there and they go, and I'm on the set and they're like, we need somebody who's Hasid.
You overheard this.
I overheard this shit. They said, we need somebody who can play a Hasid. I said, what? I said, I got the motherfucker for you. No one can out-Jew this guy. Nobody. And he plays a Hasid in a character. They go, are you serious? I go, when you see him. And I said, Modi, get your ass downtown right now.
You're on McDougal and 8th Street.
McDougal and 8th, right down the street from the Cellar. I said, yo, Modi, get your ass down here right fucking now. And this is a real hit show. That mother, as soon as they
saw me and they just
action.
Yeah, I came with the
and you got 2 episodes.
I got 2 episodes and a third thing. They had me like in the street.
They got him doing more shit.
The writer of the show was a fan, and he kept coming to shows, and it was
but that's how you look out.
Yeah,
he did it for me. That's what I do. That's what I do. If I know, someone would be right for that, I go, yo, Modi. But I'm going to tell you another thing about Modi, though. When we were in Amsterdam.
Oh, my God.
We were in Amsterdam. And this was our first time doing the Dutch comedy circuit. And I'm going to tell you, and I talk about this all the time. You were the first one to go up.
Yep.
It was me, Tony, was all the New York comics waiting to go up. When I tell you this motherfucker destroyed that room. Because we didn't know. I go, okay, I've never done overseas comedy. This son of a bitch murdered so hard.
Wow.
He let motherfuckers know New York was in the building. We were like,
Wow.
even Tony was like, oh shit. Remember you
Yeah.
kept doing this?
Yeah. No,
Modi kept going like that. Modi was killing so hard. Woo! We were like, yeah, Modi. Hell yeah. He put it all in us. Oh, we're about to tear this bitch down. He was the first motherfucker to kick the doors down when we were overseas.
It was
I will never forget
This
that.
was in the 90s and
Murdered that shit.
And Amsterdam was like was America
98.
in the 70s.
Yeah.
In comedy. They were doing comedy in the back of every restaurant, in the back of colleges.
Yes.
And they were taping it and putting
Yes.
it. We would tape Thursday, it would air Friday.
Yes.
Saturday we were walking around Holland.
Superstars.
Yeah.
Superstars,
Oh
right
my
away.
God, we saw you yesterday. Oh my God.
We saw you on Comedy Factory. We saw you on Comedy Factory. Yeah.
They were editing it in the truck while we was
Wow.
They were quick. They were.
in Rotterdam. It was a no-brainer. You just crap all over Germans, and they couldn't have been happier. I was doing.
When you did that fucking Lufthansa,
The Lufthansa
Hitler's
bit,
private airline.
Oh.
When I tell you these motherfuckers
Oh
were like this,
my.
we were like this. We were looking around like, look, Modi is destroying. And we were like, yeah, son, tell him New York's in the building, Modi.
Yeah.
Modi was like,
Yeah.
what? Oh, it was so great. It
No,
was
that
so great.
I forgot. That was such a
Oh, you
Tony
murdered.
Woods. We used to go.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
in Rotterdam, so we used to go take the train to Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
Then we would tour all around.
Eindhoven,
the
Delft.
Hague,
Eindhoven.
One time we were in some bar. And I don't get, like, they were so into soccer, and it was some soccer thing.
Yeah.
I was with Tony Woods. It wasn't you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't get this soccer thing. Everybody's running around with their little scarves with the thing on it. And he goes, yo, Modi's going to get us killed. Modi's going to get us killed.
You got to be careful because they take that shit serious.
take it
I remember I was there because then we started going back and forth a lot to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And I remember there was Ireland versus Holland, and it was a huge rivalry. And I was like, what the fuck? They was like, no, you don't understand. Ireland, we're trying to beat them. They've been beating us all. And they were fucking fighting in the streets. It was green and
was
orange.
insane.
Just battling each other, drinking, like, fuck you fucking cunt.
And I'm like,
serious.
hey, I'm at the Comedy Cafe tonight. If you want to come see.
Yeah, we had, and the Dutch. Remember, the Dutch were like cold. There's some cold.
No, they were.
They were cool, but they were like
It was
giants, though. They're
giants,
all gigantic
giants.
people. They're very big people.
But they would introduce us like Godfrey.
Godfrey.
And I'm
and
like,
they speak
yeah.
perfect English.
And they got every joke. They speak perfect English.
Yeah. But it was weird. They're like,
it was
Ladies and gentlemen, very funny from New York City. Give it up for Godfrey.
It was I forgot about that. I didn't
Yeah.
think about we had that.
Yeah.
Then they brought me one time. They said, we really want to get Greer Barnes here.
Oh yeah.
But they were scared, like, is he going to show up to the show?
Right.
Is he going to show up to the show?
He was like
So
he was a Lauryn Hill of fucking comedy.
my God, that's
They didn't know. They didn't know. So
They didn't know
said,
what we were gonna get.
So Modi, we're going to invite you again, and we're going to put you in the room next to Greer.
So you can bring him
Greer
out.
lands, and back then, you know, the fact that you can buy weed.
Oh yeah.
And that was it. Three days he was in his hotel room with some redhead.
Of course.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Yeah.
And no one saw him. And these guys like,
He
"Hey,
was in
Modi.
heaven."
Hi, Modi. How are you? Have you seen Greer? And I heard he's in his room, so I think we're okay. And then we. Oh, I'll tell you a crazier story.
What's that?
So now we're going to the taping.
Yeah.
We're walking to the taping, and he needed a card for the phone.
Okay. Yes.
He needed a
Phone
for
card.
the
Yeah, I
phone.
remember.
And we walk in, and there's two Arab guys in the store, and they sell them a card, and the back of the card had this like a gorilla on it.
Oh fuck.
And the guy says, "Oh, looks a little bit like you."
Oh, I know Greer snap.
You remember that?
Yep.
He didn't. It didn't hit him right away. He goes, and he goes, did this motherfucker just?
Yeah.
I said, no. Because it was either him destroying the store
Right.
or him coming to the comedy set. It was one of the set. It was either or. It wasn't going to be both.
Oh my God.
It wasn't going to be both. It was either him going
Yeah,
into Gevaart or him coming to
good part.
On that note, I will tell you something else I learned from you.
Mm.
I learned prejudice. I got to witness it. I don't know if you remember
Right,
this, but
where?
this was one of the things that affected me. You're probably not gonna remember because you probably went through it so many
Oh
times.
yeah, it's like natural.
We're at the Comedy Cellar. See if you remember. I'm sorry, at the comic strip live,
Comic strip, okay.
and you.
That's Upper West Side, folks.
Right.
If you all don't know,
So
Upper East Side. Sorry.
Upper East, and back then, we were talking about this on the podcast. So we used to do sets. We used to
Yeah,
run.
we
back
run
and
all
forth.
over the place.
You had to
Yeah.
get a cab. The trick was you had to get the cab
Or
right
a
after-
train. If you get lucky and you had enough time, you could get a train.
If you-
get off,
It's very Lenny Marcus with the train. We were a little more than that. Lenny always with the train, but never mind. So one time I'm about to go on. The guy's like going on doing his like check spot before I close the show, and you grabbed me, brought me to the street, and goes, "Hail a cab for me. They're not stopping."
right. Yeah.
And I never. It blew my mind
yeah,
away.
they weren't. The Indians, they weren't.
They never stopped for
Right.
for
and
black
white
guys.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't tell you how much that affected me.
I'm glad you saw it.
No. And for you, it was like come here, hail the cab
It was
for
normal.
me.
Yeah, it was normal.
It was a
Right,
norm
right.
for you.
normal to be hated.
It was normal for you to ask somebody.
And these are not white cab
Yeah,
drivers. These
yeah.
are brown people,
Right.
mainly Indian and Pakistani.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are Muslim. And there are more black Muslims, African Muslims, than there are those Muslims.
Yeah.
And I could have been Muslim. Like, hey, but a lot of those, even Hassan Minhaj said it and when he had his show on Netflix, he said, it's so funny that some of you Pakistanis don't want to even sit in the same mosque as some of the African Muslims. What's wrong with you? Like, this was mostly those guys that did it. But me and Artie,
Yeah.
me and Artie were known for smacking up cab drivers.
Were you?
Man, I remember we were, Artie. Me and Artie, he'd be with model chicks. We'd always be with fly ass women, and everybody looks nice. Our DJ friends, everybody, always a fly crew.
Yeah.
And I remember going to a club, and it was wintertime, and we're moving from club to club, and this cab driver, it's cold as fuck, and we see a cab, and we're like, boom, we're with a bunch of people. Everybody looks nice. It's just like 3 or 4 people.
Right.
There's maximum 5. So we're like, hey, excuse me, we're trying to, go in, and everybody's looking. And the cab driver literally rolls his window down going, I'm not picking you. And Artie just socks him in the mouth.
No.
It was fantastic. It was he knocked his fucking phone out his hand because the guy wanted
Wow.
to say expletives to us. He just wanted to tell us he wasn't picking us up. And Artie just bangs him in the mouth. And I go, awesome. I said, that's what you get, motherfucker. Oh, yeah. That kind of shit.
It
But
was-
it happened a lot. And you know what? That's the beautiful thing about Uber. That's why Uber was such a wonderful thing, because the cab drivers were getting upset because Uber, you're held accountable. You can't do that shit that they were doing before.
Right.
You can't drive past people. If someone gets you, you can rate them. And if you give them bad ratings, they lose money. See, it's all about money.
Yes.
You know what I mean? When you take money out of people's pockets, racism seems to be suspended for a second. No, because you're taking their money. The reason why some Korean store owners go to black neighborhoods, open up black stores, and treat the blacks like shit is because they keep buying from them. But if black people stopped buying from those specific store owners, that they would be nicer to them. The only reason why you talk shit is because you get money.
Yeah.
Why do you think half these rappers talk shit? Because you're paying them. You're paying them while they still talking shit. But I guarantee you, if they get empty seats at their concerts, you won't hear that shit anymore.
Yeah.
But your characters that you do on your Instagram are so they really teach Black history.
Yeah. Yeah.
He goes on.
I do it a
those of you-
cowboy.
the cowboy.
Yeah.
The cowboy. First of all, Godfrey is the most talented human being. I will tell you how talented he is. I'll never forget this story. We're sitting at the Comedy Cellar table, and Colin Quinn was talking about he was sitting in on your audition for SNL. And
okay.
and
Okay.
he said,
Okay,
and he
wait.
said, yeah.
No, I was at a table read with Colin Quinn. It was Tracy Morgan, Horatio Sands. It was me, and I had to read 5 characters. I had to do a Dominican, a Russian, all the Africa, because it was a very New York movie. It was like Adam Sandler was going to think about producing it. So it was a very New York movie, so there was a lot of immigrants involved. And so Colin's like, man, you got to read these parts for me, man. I said, all right, I'll do it because it's Colin, you know. And I'm in NBC Studios, and I'm reading the characters. I'm watching some people that can't really read that well, which was astounding. I go, how did this motherfucker get on? He can't even read. So I'm sitting there looking at this, and I'm doing my thing. Boom, boom, hitting all the characters. And this lady runs up to me. It was Marcy Klein.
Wow.
Calvin Klein's daughter.
Yes.
She's like, who are you? Who are you? I was like, and I'm sitting here like, I thought I got in trouble. I was like, I'm Colin's friend, guy. She goes, I need your information. I need your information. I'm watching you. How the fuck are you switching your voice like that? I go, I'm like, Colin, who the fuck is that? He goes, that's fucking Marcy Klein. That's Marcy Klein, dude. She never does shit like that. She recruits people for SNL. I said, what? Damn.
But you had an audition for SNL as well.
I had an audition at the comic strip in 90. I had an audition in the comic strip. It was me, Tracy Morgan, Jimmy Fallon. It was all of us. Kevin James. He didn't get it. Kevin James, Maceo. It was a bunch of people. It was just a gang of comics going up. And I got a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Because I did 4 characters, 4 voices. I even did Johnny Carson at the end just to add fucking more oomph to it. And I said, wow, thank you. Good stuff. And they went, and I got a standing ovation coming from Chicago. And so think about it. You got a standing ovation. Lorne Michael is there. Everybody's there. You're nervous. You know, I'm doing comedy 4 years or whatever, 3, 4. And I'm like, fuck. And then my managers are like, yo, they were like, oh my God. And then I'm in the lobby of the strip. I'm like, and this is SNL. You growing up watching Eddie Murphy, what's the Tim Kazurinsky, all of those great people that came out of SNL, John Belushi, like, I might fucking get this shit.
Right.
You know, you think about that. 4 years doing comedy from Chicago, watching SNL your whole life. Eddie Murphy's your hero. You just got a standing ovation in the audition?
Yep.
I didn't even get the call back.
Nope. He said you were so perfect that there was no way that they would have called back.
Okay.
He said
it
you
was
were so
it wasn't him. It was Daryl Hammond that told me.
Oh, was Daryl Hammond that told you?
It
I don't know.
was Daryl.
No, but Colin told me he was there too.
Oh, yeah, because I went.
He was doing the weekend update back
then.
Yeah,
and Daryl Hammond came up to me. This is a couple years after that heartbreak, and he goes, I've been wanting to tell you this for the longest time, man. And he goes, I fuck with you, man. You're one of those. I said, what's up? I had no idea what he was talking about. He goes, you remember that audition? You know how he talking, you remember that audition you had back in 98, blah, blah, blah. I go, yeah. He said, I was there, right? I said, what? He said, I was sitting right next to Lauren. Nobody could fuck with you that night. Nobody. And they gave it to blah, blah, blah instead of you. He goes, when you got off stage, I said, they're not going to give it to this guy because they didn't want to see you take over that show. Wow. They didn't want to see you do what Eddie Murphy did to that shit. Eddie Murphy took over SNL. It was Eddie Murphy's show because he was the only member that hosted while he was still on the show.
Wow.
Eddie Murphy was the only guy that ever did it.
So that was the reason that it happened.
And Eddie Murphy took SNL to #1. Remember that. It was in 3rd place. Took it to #1, just like Cosby took NBC to #1 when it was in 3rd place. Wow. Yeah. So black people sell, everybody. But anyway, so he said, I knew you weren't going to get it. And he goes, and I said, I don't know. But that was like, well, at least he gave me closure. And I go, cool, fine. But then after I did the audition, I did the table read for Colin Quinn. And then Marcy Klein approached me and said, who are you? Like, and then I gave her all my information. This is when I was with William Morris, before they merged with Endeavor.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. And then I tell my managers, I was like, Marcy Klein. They go, what? I go, Marcy Klein approached me, just saw me. He goes, well, and so they never, no response, nothing again. So that's 2 in a row. Like, fuck. And then Jamie Masada, who owns the Laugh Factory in L.A., calls me. And he goes, and Persian, he goes, buddy, listen, buddy. Oh. I need you, listen, I have SNL come. His English is the worst. He's been there 50 years. Like, buddy, listen, I need you come to L.A. to do SNL audition, buddy. You're the most talented. I tell them I know the perfect guy. I said,
and what'd you say?
I said, Jamie.
No.
I said, I can't do that shit again.
Good for you.
He goes, what do you mean? You're the talent. You have to. You're the most talent. Nobody can do. I said, They fucked me twice already. I don't want to beat a dead horse. He goes, listen, buddy, listen. You can do it. I know. I believe in you, buddy. Listen. Shout out to Jamie Masada, who always had faith in me. Always shows me love at the Laugh Factory. That's why I'm a loyal Laugh Factory guy. Not really the Comedy Store, even though I'm friends with Pauly Shore, but the Laugh Factory is my spot. He goes, listen, buddy. He said, you think about it, buddy. Please, you need to come. You will tear this shit up. I'm telling you.
But
I didn't go.
No,
and they gave it to
no.
Finesse Mitchell that year. And I was like, yeah. And then somebody else told me, Dane Cook, even in his, because there was a time where Dane got a little douchey. Got a little douchey when he was really big. He got a little douchey, but he's normalized now.
And he parked his Aston Martin in the back of the.
Yeah. Oh man,
that was the worst.
He was, and I love Aston Martins. That's what pissed me off. But he was, Dane was in his little thing. But even Dane, within that time, he goes, I don't know how you're not on SNL, bro.
No,
he goes like this. I don't get it. I don't
no,
get it. Him of all people. And then I talked to Norm Macdonald. Rest in peace. Fucking Norm Macdonald. Just
wow. By
passed
the way, Norm Macdonald passed away an hour before we went live here.
God
it's
damn.
just insane.
So, didn't know he had cancer. But Norm Macdonald, I'm upstairs. I get off stage. Norm Macdonald is upstairs. That's when he has his beard. He's all like, he goes, Godfrey, hey, man, what's going on, man? You're talented as hell, man. I love your shit, man. Blah, blah, blah. He goes, you never been on SNL, eh? I go, no. He goes, fuck them. He goes, they hate me anyway. I mean, NBC hates me. He's like, listen, that's fine. You dodged a bullet, man. You'll be fine. He was telling me, and I'm not dogging SNL or anything, but he was even like saying, man, he goes, they're weird over there, man.
But Godfrey is his own SNL. If you look at his characters and his Instagram, it's his own SNL.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
characters are any better than any of their characters.
Well, it's good that it's at
Your
least
storylines are amazing.
Well, the social media really,
Right.
really,
And
really,
the pandemic.
really helped us.
The
The pandemic did.
Wow.
And this motherfucker took over too and said, I'm going to do a character near, my name is Near Nafar. And that shit's working, bro.
It's amazing.
Elon Gold got kicked in the ass too. Elon Gold is finally doing, like his little talk show thing he does where he's matching Jewish people up.
Yeah.
I've been on it a few times. I get
Yeah.
on it. And it's working, and us coming from the old school, we were like, man, fuck that. I'm not doing this shit. And then 4 years ago, I decided to get off my ass and to take advantage. I did it a little bit, but I just dibbled and dabbled just to say, oh, I'm here.
Right.
But then I said, you know what? I'm
in.
going all in.
All in.
Every day, I'm going in, and I'm going to make it a fucking problem.
And you have to understand how nocturnal him and Artie are. First of all, if ever I'm up and I just, I'm looking at my Instagram, 3, 4 a.m.
Yeah, I got to stop that shit.
Godfrey's going live.
Yeah.
And like with thousands of people. On it.
Because you open yourself up to the entire world, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then remember, we're not the only time zone. You got
Right.
people are like, hey, Saudi Arabia, what's up? Or England, perfect,
But back in the day, you and Artie used to go to Crunch, had a 24-hour.
We would go to his Crunch. We would go to clubs every night.
They would do the show till 2 a.m.
And then go to clubs.
They'd go to work out, and then they'd go to clubs.
And that is why when Louie came on, when we did his first episode that Louie put us on, we took him to the club. I don't know if you remember this. We took Louie because Louie wanted to learn how to talk to women. And so Louie had us take him to a club that we filmed in that we used to party in.
Right.
Downtown, it was Don Hills. I go, dude, we used to party here. And Louie's like, what? He's like, yeah. But that's why Louie knew about our reputation, that we went to the clubs. Artie knew all the DJs.
Sherrard also.
Yeah, but it was me and Artie mainly. But we partied hard as fuck. I was drug-free. I was always a healthy guy.
Always healthy.
Because I would wake up to yoga class the next day.
You'd find guys in Brooklyn with herbs, and you'd have that stack with the herbs on. You still got those herbs?
Yeah.
Oh, he's and didn't drink anything but powerhouse, like full of life. And you went to the club with these guys. There's a line around the corner. And you walk up to the door, and Shiraz's like, I'm this, he's that, that's this, and they walk right in. I'm like, what the hell? You never saw anything like it. I'm like, should we give him a 50? Should we give him a 50? And boom, I'm him, he's that, that's this. What about, boom, and we're in. It was insane. It was incredible.
DJ, you know the DJ, they're like, yo, my man, blah, blah, blah in the house. We're like, what? It was one of those things, man. That's what we did. It was fun. That was when actually New York was live.
Yeah.
When Giuliani's punk ass was in, he actually cleaned up New York. And it was, even though it was a fucked up police state, but the clubs were hitting. The music
clubs
was
are still hitting in New York, but they're in Brooklyn. They're on
Is it
fire.
in Brooklyn? Is it Brooklyn now?
It's Brooklyn, man, and it's on fire.
So it's moving because Manhattan got.
Yeah.
Woo!
We
And
were
then
just
there's
talking
nothing
about
going on
that.
in Manhattan.
And Brooklyn
but
has a lot of retro shit, which is dope. A lot of retro, a lot of loungy stuff, live music.
I still love to dance. I go to Brooklyn Mirage. I go to Good Room. I go to every elsewhere. There's amazing DJs coming to New York.
Cool.
I go listen to them. I love them.
That's what's up. I gotta find that out.
No, it's,
I'm gonna start.
I love
because Manhattan got. Because one time I went to one or two
Manhattan
clubs,
got
I was
harsh.
like, ew.
Manhattan got harsh.
Yeah, it got harsh.
The homeless and it's
that's
a
And the
harsh
rats
vibe.
everywhere now.
Well, the rats are old.
Now
Rats are partying
they're-
now.
Yeah, now they're like.
Yeah, but you were up in Harlem, right? Did you sell that place?
Yeah, I still have. I moved to the Bronx, and I'm now in Hell's Kitchen now.
You're in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, man, Hell's Kitchen, man.
And how's that working?
It's
out?
cool, man. The location is fine. It's like I have everything.
Yeah.
It's like bang, 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 bang. You're close to everything. You know, it's Midtown. It's fine. Nothing's too far.
Manhattan is people always say I can never not live here. Manhattan is a collection of neighborhoods. Wherever you find yourself, you'll find the dry cleaner, the grocer, the this, the shoe. You'll find your.
You'll find that.
And I'm okay here. And then
Were you in still Murray?
No, I'm in the Lower East Side since 2004.
Get the fuck
Yeah. I've been
here.
down there since.
Lower East Side. Okay, because I do my podcast on Lower East on 6th Street.
Yeah, in the basement down there.
Yeah,
right?
down there. The Gas Digital. You got to come through.
Yeah, I'd be
In
happy to,
Godfrey
yeah.
we trust, everyone.
No,
Tuesdays and Fridays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern.
no. Listen, I'm starting doing these podcasts. You guys make it look so easy, and your energy is amazing.
Well, you know, it's one of those things where you got to. My old manager who passed away, just Dave. Man, both of my managers are going. Fuck.
Who?
It was Dave Klingman and Tom Chistaro. Tom Chistaro was the father of Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah, sure.
They had Leguizamo, they had Sandra Bullock, they had Mike Epps. I had them. Yeah, man, I knew Leguizamo. I knew Anthony Michael Hall's been my friend, you know, since 16 Candles.
Yeah.
I knew him as a big guy, you know, and so those were my managers. And I was just gonna say something. Shit.
They passed away.
They passed away. Oh, and my old manager always used to say, when times change, you don't want to piss against the wind.
Right.
You want to go with the wind. That was the greatest analogy. Don't piss against the wind. With this shit, don't piss against the wind. Go with it, man. All right, cool. You're seasoned in comedy. Motherfucker, put that shit on.
Yeah.
You don't wait on these, you know, our old school ways is wait on a network,
Yeah.
audition,
there's no
tap
network.
dancing. Oh, hopefully now the game has changed so hardcore. It's like, okay, wait a minute. Now you just got to get out of your own way, your ego, put yourself, you have the seasoning for it. And once I started doing it and really showing my ass, they were like, oh, I got Lenny Kravitz is a fan. Nas is a fan. I get, you know, Will Smith's mother-in-law, Jada Pinkett's mom comments on some of my stuff sometimes. Just different people. And then, of course, you got people who are haters that don't want to show you no love, but they see you. And this is like you can build your own audience.
Yep.
When I'm on the road, the difference has shown dramatically.
You're selling out.
Your money goes, oh, shit. Okay. Let me do another character.
Yeah.
It's real shit. You
Yeah.
you grab onto people and they remember. In the streets, you can see it too. Yo, the thing you... This is when I knew it was powerful, when I was in Montreal a few years ago, and these young French kids just came at me like, you do the fucking video with Rennie. We watch your...
Wow.
I said,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, it's on. It's
on.
on.
No,
it's on. Because this is everybody's TV show now.
Yeah.
This is
Everybody
everybody's
has
TV
their own
show.
channel.
No one can watch a
Yeah.
TV show. They don't have the attention span anymore.
No, it's crackheads.
It's
Crackhead babies.
It's so TikTok is the crack of
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
So they have a 2-second attention
Yeah,
span.
yeah. It's like,
and you gotta just deliver it. Boom, 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 boom,
And
boom.
then think about all the people at work that just want to go, let me see this real quick.
Yeah.
Just that little...
And then they share too. So
Oh, yeah.
so they want to show that the Jewish community is on WhatsApp. That's our thing.
Okay.
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp is your...
WhatsApp, and they have group chats. Like you have your friends from the synagogue, you have your friends from work, you have your friend, and they want to right away show, I found this video right away. And the other guy sends it right after him. Oh, I already had it. Boom. I already saw this video. It's insane. So that's where my stuff went viral.
It's like the news network.
And
we
the
were here
cameo.
first.
Are you doing cameos?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm doing,
that's
you
the
doing
best.
cameos? You doing cameos?
I love cameos.
Yeah. What are you at? You priced high?
I'm at 118 now.
You want to tell? I went at like 85. I'm gonna go to probably 100.
Yeah.
I go to 100
if they want it. No, but I give it my life. I give it everything.
I go in.
I sit there. I write. I have to hang the banner when I do the Hasidic guy. When I do the Hasidic guy, I have to hang the banner. Secretary of Simcha. And the Israeli guy the Israeli just pulled this out, and
you got to go in.
Yeah, but I give it to them, and they share it, and it's a part of their events. And
okay, that's
so
it
cameo.
Means a lot. Cameo,
I give it.
That's and you see you get the critiques, and they go, man, awesome.
No,
I get great because I go in. I just look and I go, all right. And I go, yo!
I love when they send me...
Happy birthday! Blah, blah, talking shit, you know.
No, they send me their whole life information. No, did we talk about this once?
We talked about
Do you know how the Jews... Okay, Cameo works like this. Did we do this once?
Tell us how the
Go ahead.
Jews do it.
So, Cameo, you say, who's this for? Who's this from?
Yeah.
And then they give you information.
Right.
Like, it's my husband's 40th birthday. He's this and this. He likes to jog. He likes to... The Jew's like... it's my husband's 70th birthday. His parents are survivors. Our daughter never got married because she has a hunchback. Wish him happy birthday. Make it funny. That's what I get. So I write back. I take off the hi. Any other information you can give me? Yeah. So then we do. We make it funny. But I write it out. I give it to them. So if they're not willing to pay 118, I'm
so
not doing
funny
it.
how. When you talk about the Jewish community, I remember there was a guy named Jay Feely, he used to be a quarterback for the Jets, Jewish cat, for the Jets, back in like early 2000s. And he would come to Boston. He was a fan of mine. And he was a real cool dude. I didn't know he was Jewish.
So it's the Boston Comedy Club, just so you know. It's a comedy club around the corner from the Comedy Cellar. And it looked like a crack house in Aspen. It was wooden. It was a wooden thing.
It was a shitty club, but it worked.
Yeah.
You would work out jokes in the middle of the day. There'd be 3 people in there and a barker.
Yeah.
And then on the weekends, it's packed. Very weird.
And 2 comics in the back yelling, "You stink."
right.
Yeah.
Leather couches mixed with mixed furniture. And Jay Feely comes up there. He goes, man, I'm a big fan, but I'd love you to do a benefit for me in Miami or Florida. I said, all right. That's cool. The Jets, NFL, yeah. Oh, man, why did I take this gig? I took it. It was an old Jewish, let me tell you who the comic was on stage, Freddie Roman.
Oh, my
and
God.
I'm going to tell you that motherfucker was funny as shit. He killed. When I tell you he was murdering so hard. And he was fucking funny. I was dying. I was like, this dude. And he's very old school Jewish Catskills.
Catskills, yeah.
Yeah, he was like, and then I tell the third, and then, can you believe it? And he's murdering. And there's a guy on stage, Yepremian. He's a kicker, old kicker from Miami Dolphins. I think he was known for missing, and it is Yepremian. Call Yepremian. He's sitting there, and they're roasting him. So Freddie Roman is murdering this dude,
right?
Telling jokes, he's just killing, always murdering the dude in the chair.
And
what
happened?
He's like,
with you?
look at you piece of boom, boom. And this motherfucker Jay's like, yo, you gonna go up next after? I go, what? Are you out here It's all old Jewish people. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh my! And then there's some of the guys.
You should have just done my act.
I know.
It's good to be here. Hello.
Hey, Lufthansa, you eat schnitzel like everybody else. So I go first, but he goes, but first they got to bring up some people who have children who survived. What's that? Sclerosis, not sclerosis. Oh shit! What's the other disease?
What disease? Doesn't matter.
It's
they
a
love a
disease.
good
Yeah, it was a
disease. They
disease.
love a disease.
It was a disease like some sclerosis type shit. And I go, they go up first before we bring the other next comedian up, we gotta have some people come up here and everybody's crying. And my other
they brought
it was
you up.
fibrosis. Fibrosis.
Cystic
Cystic
fibrosis.
fibrosis.
That's it. It was like, my daughter survived cystic fibrosis, and we're so happy that you crying. I go, okay, who's ready for the next comedian?
So
And the NFL guy's like, I said, what the fuck is this? And I had to go up to this depressed, and everyone's sad.
no.
And Jay Feely's like, I was like, what? And so
Yeah.
I'm doing some jokes, getting little laughs here. And then I go, and the guy you premium is still on stage. He didn't get off. The guy who's getting roasted is supposed to leave.
Yeah.
He's still sitting there. And so I started fucking with him.
Yeah.
And I said, I started saying, you played football when they didn't have any helmets or blacks. They start laughing. I'm desperate now.
Oh, my
and I
God.
go, I just don't understand. Jay Feely, man, you're a Jewish quarterback. I can imagine what the huddle is like. He goes, okay, this is what it's going to be. Yo, go this way. Yo, the Schweizer, just run straight. The fucking place went crazy.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night. Bye. Get your laughs good. No, you're telling
There's
me about
Schweizer,
following
just
that?
run.
So the name of this podcast, And Here's Modi, because I'm following that stuff all the time.
Oh,
they
my
show the
God.
movie.
Oh,
They
really?
show the movie of the disease or whatever charity they're raising money for, and then she comes on, And Here's Modi. That's why it's called And Here's Modi.
Is that why?
That's why. Dude, that's my career. That's my, what you did that night is how I buy apartments. Are you kidding me? I'm the one one night you had to follow a difficult cancer
And you
situation.
getting money, though, boy.
I-
You get
Dude,
money, though.
I'll
Like
tell
a
you a story
motherfucker.
one time, and I never know if I told the story on the podcast.
doesn't
I was
matter.
wondering why you said, and here's
Dude,
Modi.
I'll tell you a story. One time I did the show in Long Island, this
Yeah.
massive, this beautiful mansion.
Yeah.
Had 150 people in the house.
Yeah.
That's how big the house was.
Wow, damn.
You walk in there, and there's like the food was in like this area, and then they took the living room and made it into a theater. Huge.
Sick.
And I'm walking into the house, and I see he's got these little stars of David, like from the Holocaust thing, on the wall, and then he's got like the Torah that they survived a. Did I tell the story one time?
No.
And it's got the Torah that survived the camps or whatever. They hid it, and he's got all this Judaica. So at first I thought maybe his grandparents were. Then he's a Holocaust fanatic. So now I walk in. The woman.
What is even that?
he
Holocaust.
collects.
He
he's-
collects all the
and he's
the artifacts.
He'll buy whatever like blessing cups.
I
or
know
the
people who have
candles,
slavery shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now they show me where the food is. People are all eating and mingling, and it's to get to this thing is like $1,000 a person, and then on top of that they're donating. Anyway, they bring me into the room where the show is.
Yeah.
Theater style setting, microphones, speakers,
Beautiful.
gorgeous. They didn't mention that he has this commissioned statue behind me that was maybe 7 feet long and 8 feet tall of this like Holocaust. The arms
The
coming
hand!
out,
That's
the
creepy.
hand,
That's
and
creepy.
the children and barbed
That's-
wire
that's
and
creepy.
and my microphone is right. That's behind me. People are walking into the room like this, eating their little thing. When you see the statue, first of all, you can't believe it's in somebody's house.
That's sick.
So now they do. Hi, thank you for coming, and please donate to juvenile diabetes, and da 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 da, and your donations help, and they show whatever, and this and go. And now for some levity, here's Modi, and the statue's behind me, and people are looking like, what's he opening with? What's this guy's opening line? So I walk up,
you
I
turn
grab them.
around?
My people are like this. You know when the audience is
Of
nervous?
course!
That look like that. The audience is looking like that, and I said, "Hi, it's great being here in Bergen-Belsen. If things work out well, I'll be in my Danik next week.
And you
Sorry, I'm late. The trains were a little off tonight.
did you kill?
It relieved all the pressure,
Oh,
and I went into
fuck.
my act, and they forgot the statue was there.
Because the hands.
Yeah.
If you go to Miami,
Yeah, it's that's it.
Creepy as fuck. Because I
Yeah.
was driving Miami, and these fucking hands.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
the
dark.
Holocaust Museum.
But it's scary at night.
no, it's
I was like, what
Scary
the fuck
during
is
the
that?
day,
They go,
too.
that's the
but
Holocaust
it's
hands.
the Holocaust Hand Museum. But let me tell you, Godfrey, when you drive by that and you look at it and you go, oh, humans can do that. that happened.
Yeah.
And you keep going.
No doubt.
And you keep going to the beach. But you remember that happened.
No doubt.
That happened. Yeah.
That's
So
why.
it's-
That's why I don't. When I see the Jewish, the stuff that has happened to Jews, and you see blacks and Jews butting heads, I don't understand the shit you've gone through. Shit we got. We should be. I mean, we actually are
are.
is closer than what we think.
Much more than you think.
Much more than you think. But it seems that there's this like, you know what I mean? There's this little. It's like we butt heads in some kind of way, but in entertainment we were always together.
Yes.
All kinds of ways. We got treated kind of the same. And it was always like, though, there was always some sort of stubbornness.
There is an intertwined
There was-
history.
It's
very much.
You would think, and even with like when I talk about Asians and how Asians and blacks butt heads, it's like I was watching when I watched the Bruce Lee documentary, the Chinese were treated so horribly, so shitty. When anybody's treated like that, I go, how are we fighting?
Yeah.
How the fuck are we fighting? Because we all feel for each other. Especially black people, I know whether it's African, Caribbean, we feel like when anybody's being oppressed, we go, we know what the fuck that's like.
Been there, yeah.
And you would think there would be more, and there is more similarities, but some people still want to be like, not all of them.
Right.
Relax. It's fucked up. Because in comedy, the Jews and the blacks were like the best ones because of the hell we went through.
Of
We were
course.
always the best ones. You know what I mean? So, and it's just like amazing that it's because especially with artists, you see a lot of our similarities.
Yeah.
But outside of that, you just go, why are we butting? Yeah.
No, nobody should be butting their heads, but I don't know. I don't know
it's
what
crazy.
to say. I can't. I mean, it's a comedy friend. I'm telling you, but I remember we would look out for each other. Here's this and that. And some comics, they always, they're in with other comedians.
Yes.
And that comic blows up.
Yeah.
And they take him on the ride.
Usually.
Yeah. Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
She blew up and took all her friends.
Her friends, yeah.
Right. And
that's how you do it.
Amy Schumer tomorrow could be casting a film or a TV show, and the character is Modi, comedian Modi. Rachel Feinstein would get the role because that's that's her crew. That's her crew. It's I'm not getting.
I mean, we want. I hope Modi blows up. I hope because we know who we would call. Like, yo, Modi, I got you. Yo,
Godfrey,
my man. Yeah, fuck
this
that.
is the guy.
I go.
yeah.
I need my friends. My friends are losers. What the fuck?
No.
But we were never cliquish guys.
No.
We're very solo. Like I'm a very
solo.
So I'm not a cliquish. We know everybody, but we're not gonna beg anybody for anything. We too much pride.
We also worked. We were working
We
comedians.
were working. We were talented.
making a living.
Making a living, and
we weren't huge on TV, but we're making a living, buying homes, cars. We made a living.
And then we wanted to be like respected, like pick me because I'm talented.
I'll tell you something else I remember that you freaked one time, and it was one of the funniest things. Back in the day, they were doing Last Comic Standing auditions. Remember that?
Yeah.
And there was a line around Caroline's of these people calling themselves comedians. People who had 3 jokes to do to audition for Last Comic Standing. And Godfrey screamed, "You're not a comedian. You're not a comedian. You have to. You're not. It's like saying you're a doctor. You're not I'm a professional. I'm a craft." And I remember you freaked on Last Comic Standing. These are things like it's like things that hit you back in the day.
Damn right. I meant that shit. Fuck.
Yeah.
We put our times. We were doing on the weekend 8 to 10 shows a night. We were going all over the
Incredible.
place, and then in the middle of the week we're doing 3 to 5. Count it. You're like, it's
Oh,
4:30.
and then when we were on the road for working for
we're
nothing.
doing 30 to 40 shows a week. We put our
Yeah.
time in. We were not fucking around. We were all the time on stage. Esty was throwing me, hey, you go over here. Now you're at the Cafe Wa. You're you're at the We were doing it. People don't understand when I say you're not one, you ain't one.
And then these comics, Last Comic Stand, people auditioned. They were sure that they were comedians. My manager got me. He said he has to audition, and then we'll get him to the thing. And I didn't want to go past the semifinals.
Oh, really?
I didn't want to be in the house and all that nastiness.
Oh.
But I wanted that little few minutes. I have a nice clip from Last Comic Stand, my aerobics clip back in the day when that had its minute.
Right.
And so that was it.
Yeah.
But like he set it up. It was all. But you had these other guys just like. Oh, and you said you're not a comedian. You stink. You have a joke. You're not a comedian.
Ah, you have a joke.
You have a
That's
joke is what you
amazing.
have.
I'm sort of like one of those guys. I'm like the protector of the art form.
Yes.
If I see the wrong person coming towards the drawbridge, I'm coming with my sword, man. Who the
Yeah.
fuck are you? Who are you?
Yeah, yeah.
No, you do not. You're not allowed in, fucker, until you earn it.
Exactly.
I just think comedy.
That's right, though.
I
That's
feel like
right.
comedy should be like the army. That's the one thing I loved about the armed forces. My friends that are in it, there's a ranking. Like,
Yes.
I'm a general because I've done this longer than you. Fuck you. You don't come in my office until I tell you to.
Yeah.
Fuck are you doing? A lot of these comics that I'm on the road still, will sit in. I'll be in a green room and I go, "Who are you guys?" "Oh, I'm a comedian." "Are you on this weekend?" "No." "What the fuck are you doing in the green room?" Like, it's not about being a dick. This is not your time. When I was coming up, you wouldn't dare do no shit like that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't dare. What? I'm an opener. Openers stand by the bar and be happy you got your fucking time and suck on your little drink. These motherfuckers will sit there. I'm a comedian because what? Because you got on the microphone? When I remember Seinfeld when he was shooting Comedian, he was around us. And he had sat me down and said, "Hey, man, how long you been doing comedy?" Because he liked my shit. Yeah. And I remember I was about 9 or 10 years in. He goes, "All right, that's kindergarten."
Oh, wow.
He's like, "You're like a 10-year-old then. 10 years? That means you're a 10-year-old. That's your age in comedy."
Wow.
Never forgot that. Never forgot that.
Really?
And there's people around here, let them do 5 years. And then they equate getting a sitcom or being on a show as being a good comedian. It has nothing to do with it. "Oh, but I'm on this. I don't give a fuck what you're on. You ain't following none of us."
We used to do the Montreal Comedy Festival.
That's right.
And back in the day, the networks were up there, and they saw some kid with 6 minutes, and they gave him a deal.
Yeah.
We're signing him on $250,000, and he has to be. And they thought he was going to be the next something. Yeah. And those deals went nowhere. Not one of those deals that they paid $250,000.
Yeah.
The manager's sitting there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, watch his set. And the kid's like, "Hey, I'm this and that. I'm 12 and I'm redhead. And my mother's name is Harriet."
You got
and whatever.
veterans murdering all around the festival. And they're just like,
new face of comedy, whatever it was. I never did a new face of comedy. I did the galas, and I 5 years in, I did galas and the Jewish show.
Right.
They didn't even notice me as a new face.
fuck.
Because I walked up there and went like this. Like, I'm here. Here's my act. It's not a new face act. It's not a new face act.
I know. And I remember one year there was a guy, the tape guy. He has tape over his mouth. He was a comedian. And he was tape man.
No way.
Hold on.
Oh, no.
Everybody's like, "You got to see this comic." I said, "Who?"
Oh,
I said, "Who other than our show? We're destroying the place."
Right.
Who? "You got to see Tape Man." I said, "Who the fuck is Tape Man?"
Oh, God.
This motherfucker had tape over his mouth, didn't say shit, and was just doing prop shit. And we go, "Oh," and someone goes, "Oh, you mean you don't have to say shit? All this time I've been actually talking." And this guy comes with a piece of tape and he has a deal.
Yep.
And it was so. You know who else made me laugh? What's his name? Scott Thompson from Kids in the Hall.
Yes.
Yo, this motherfucker snapped so hard. It was the funniest shit. He goes, and he's talking about Nanette. The Nanette shit, right? And he goes, "I'm a gay man, so I'm going to fucking talk about this broad. I don't give a fuck. Bitch, you're fucking crying on a special? Suck it up, bitch. What the fuck was that? Because you're gay? Get over it, bitch. I've been gay longer than you." Da-da-da. Went off. Said, "What the fuck's going on with comedy? What is this shit? Everybody's cheating. What the fuck? You're crying on a fucking special? Do you know what the fuck I've been through?" And he goes, "I can talk about this. I'm gay. I don't give a fuck."
Right.
He goes off, but it was like, yeah, man. And this is a white, privileged man who was like going, "Yo, what?" But that's what's going on. And it's not, and comedy is something you cannot cheat. I don't give a fuck. You can't cheat. You can't cheat
either
the steps.
you're getting laughs or you're not getting laughs.
Yeah, and you keep on thinking you're that good, you're going to run into those shows that are going to teach you that lesson.
Yeah.
I tell people, you better get your reps in, because they're going to be that show you in fucking Iowa somewhere. They're like.
It's so true.
And there's some local motherfucker that destroys the room, gives you a nice hot 30, and you sitting there,
Oh my God.
Oh, crazy shit out there.
Right.
Bring back Scott.
Bring back the opening act. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's an art form. You cannot cheat. It's a sport. You have to show up to practice. It is a sport. Being an athlete myself,
Craft.
it's a real craft. It really is.
Art. It's a fucking art.
And they know. I remember when I think I was in LA with you one time. Yes. We did. You did Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
It was me, you. It was all New York.
Tiffany Haddish. It was that whole.
We came in, and you murdered. All of us murdered, and everyone's like, "Man, New York is in the building." We were like, "You fucking right, we are."
Yeah.
We tore them motherfucking LA comics up so hard. They were like, "Yo, this is a different level." I said,
I served in LA. I served from 2007 to 2010. I served my 3 years over there.
I did 7.
And you were there in and out. And you keep in mind, again, like he's saying, we were comedians that were on 40 times a week.
Yeah.
These are guys that had a show once, twice a week they were on. So we just knew how to kill.
Yeah.
And they were like, wow, this is a situation.
Yeah. I remember when Joe Pesci was in the audience one time, and it was a small crowd in the Laugh Factory. They said, "Yo, Joe Pesci's here. Fucking Joe Pesci's here, man. Joe Pesci." I go, "Oh, man, cool." Everybody, I went up last. Everybody bombed because Joe Pesci was in it. I went on stage. I said, "Man, Joe, listen, man." I started fucking with Joe. I had this motherfucker dying. You see him going, "What the fuck is this motherfucker?"
It was like that.
Murdered. And Joe goes, "Come here, man." He's like, "You're fucking hilarious, blah, blah, blah." I said, "Well, I'm a New York comic." Go, no wonder. Boom. You weren't afraid, blah, blah. It was awesome. It was like, but that was that New York training. You know how many people come to the cellar that are started?
Yeah.
They're in our house. They're in our house. Because when we do our shit, Seinfeld has to stretch out. Seinfeld has to go, "God damn, all right." That's why it's not.
The Comedy Cellar. The Comedy Cellar. When a star, when a big name goes on, they get that wow, and then they go, "What do you have?
Yeah.
What do you
No,
have?"
that's true.
At first, they're
It's
like,
true.
"Woo, woo,
Right.
okay."
They scream.
We
and they
got
can't
it. You the
tell.
shit. Now, right now, what's up? It's
What's up?
It's
What's
in the
up?
presence. It's
Yeah.
living in the moment. It's
Absolutely.
comedy is such a present day thing. Like, that's great. Huh? What now?
What do you got for us right
Even
now?
Ray Romano was so humble. Ray would be like, before I would bring him up, he goes, "Listen, man, don't do no big rah rah. Just really low. Just
Yeah, but they went crazy.
And
when
I
you
go,
say
"This
their
next
names.
guy you might have seen on an episode of Ray Romano."
Oh my God,
Everyone
that's
loves Ray.
amazing.
And they go, "Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Ray Romano."
Ray
What?
Romano.
What? Ah!
They went
And
crazy.
he goes, all right. He's like, let me be funny first.
He went on. I remember one time he went on right when the show finished.
Oh, wow.
They were in syndication.
Yeah.
And he came back to doing comedy. So Ray Romano's on stage. Now keep in mind, Rick Chrome, who was the MC from back in the day.
Yeah.
So Ray goes on, and now Ray's doing his act from before the show, and then Rick would be like, Rick goes, "Hey, how about phone numbers?" He goes, "Oh yes," and he started doing his bit about
Wow,
phone
that's dope.
numbers and
Getting him
he
back
was
into the groove.
reminding him
That's
of his
awesome.
bits.
Oh,
It
that's
was an
dope.
incredible thing.
That's
to watch.
cool. You bring back some jokes they probably don't even know because Raymond's so famous now.
forget.
Now you can bring this whole.
Leo's always reminding me of jokes I had back in the day. Like,
Yeah.
remember from 5 years ago, this joke. I go,
Isn't that the
"Oh,
best?
Yeah.
And now you can bring it
You
back.
Bring it back as if you just wrote it. As if you just wrote this joke. It's a brand new joke. Yes, I just came up with this on the way here. And that's the most important thing in comedy, by the
Yeah.
way, too.
Yeah.
You have to deliver the joke like you just came up with it.
You damn right.
Not like you're hacking a
Right.
joke. That's
You
what a hack is. When
These
someone,
fucking hacks.
when you think,
Fuck you, hacks.
when
Pieces
you-
of shit.
when you
Fuck
think-
you.
By the way,
Just wanted to add a
it's
little,
so funny.
little
It's
edge to this.
This is, I think, our seventh episode,
Seventh.
and
Yeah.
there's not been one curse word yet.
And here I
But
come.
here we are making up for all the other episodes.
Yeah, fuck that clean shit. I had to throw it in
I
there.
love you, man. We got
You're
to
like
finish,
my-
right? We
Yeah,
gotta-
but
I'm
you
sorry.
have one more question.
What's the question? Oh,
What?
damn. Thank you.
What?
I don't do that whole skits and whatever. I have one question.
What?
Who's your rabbi? And what a rabbi means a teacher, a guru. Who is your if you had a spiritual question, a comedy mentor question, who would you go to?
Do you remember when you took me to the institute? The Yehuda?
The Kabbalah.
The Kabbalah.
The
Remember
Kabbalah
we went over
Center. I
there
took you to
for
the Kabbalah Center. Yeah.
And I was with that guy Yehuda. And he
Yehuda
was-
Berg.
Yeah, Yehuda
Yeah.
Berg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would be my wow? Let's see. Wow. Damn. Spirituals. Wow.
Mentor in comedy. Somebody.
Mentor in comedy.
Anyone.
Anyone
someone
that you would. Someone
go
that
to.
who would you head to ask a
question
question
to.
that
Probably a Tony Woods.
Tony Woods.
Tony Woods, if he doesn't speak in code. Tony be like, yeah, shawty, if he doesn't do that, probably a Tony Woods would be a guy. Yeah, Tony Woods would be, that's right, yeah. Tony
Good.
Woods,
That's a good answer.
That's a good
Yeah,
answer.
man.
Good answer.
Comedy-wise, Tony
And
Woods.
if you don't know who he is, Google and you will die of laughter.
Yeah, you'll
There's
see who
just-
he influenced, too.
Yeah, you'll see comedians that have copied him.
Oh, yeah.
Timing and
Oh, yeah.
cadences and cadences.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Anyway, what do you want? How do they find you? Talk to me.
Find me on my
Yes.
Instagram, comedian Godfrey. Also, you can catch me on Wildin' Out, the new season of season 16 of Wildin' Out, and I'll be on the next season of Wildin' Out. I know with Nick Cannon. My old ass is on there, and doing that. Also, the Michael Che show on HBO Max, and another show called Southside. The second season is coming out HBO Max. Did some little episodes on that. It's like a feature show where a lot of people just feature on there. So I've done 2 features on that, and I don't know when this is showing. When is this?
Next week.
Probably next week. Yeah.
Next week or the week after at the latest.
Yeah.
The week after or the latest. So that means, was it before October? Was it September ends?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
October, okay. October 1st and 2nd, you can catch me at, is it Uncasville, is it that comics in Mohegan Sun? Is that Mohegan Sun?
The Mohegan Sun
That's
show.
Mohegan Sun.
Yeah,
That's comics, right?
Yep.
Comics Mohegan Sun. I'll be there October 1st and 2nd, Mohegan Sun. Uncasville, Connecticut. That's how you say it. And then I got Magooby's Joke House in Baltimore, Maryland, October 7th through the 9th. So, yeah, man. And, I'm in Alabama this week, but that ain't happening. But next week is
Alabama's not happening for a few reasons. This audience is not going to Alabama.
But you'd be surprised.
Yes.
They are there.
They're there.
They're there. Scottsdale, Arizona on the 23rd to the
they're
26th.
there.
House of Comedy, Scottsdale, Arizona, September 23rd to the 26th if this show.
And they can all find your stuff on your Insta.
Yeah, the
There's gotta be-
Instagram and all that. My
Yeah.
website stinks. After the pandemic, I left it. I was like, eh.
So, but there's the link tree on your.
The link tree. I have a link
so
tree and
that's
stuff
where
like that. Do
find
you have a
all the
website?
shows.
You do use website?
I do. But my link tree on Modi_live has all the shows I have coming up.
Oh, that's better.
Chicago, Fort Lauderdale, Houston,
Long Island.
Long Island coming up. Just get your tickets. And then Christmas Day rather, because it ends up on Friday. Christmas Day, I'm going to be at the City Winery, the big room at the City Winery.
I heard about that. I heard it's great.
Off the hook.
What?
I love that City Winery. I love it.
Sherrod said it's so good.
It's such a good room.
What?
The small room and the big room. The people there are super nice. It's
professional?
It's on.
It's not weird and something in the way and there's
No. It's
TV on.
something in the way.
You know those shows where there's something in the way.
No one knows what that means.
There's-
I
you know, you're like this.
Column. Oh, the worst.
I'm being heckled by the column.
The weight station's right in your microphone. No, it's legit. It's legit. And what about you? You have your show every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday at Stand Up New York. See you next Tuesday.
I like your T-shirt. It's Gilbert Gottfried.
Thank you.
And Gilbert, his last name is the German version of my first name.
Oh wow.
Really?
Gottfried, and Godfrey means God's gift of peace. That's the German, mine's the British version.
Amazing.
Bang.
Anyway, thank you very much. Cameo, get us
Yeah,
on that.
cameo. Yo, look at our cameos. Go get a
Cameos are
cameo for your
fun, yeah.
anniversary, birthday, funeral. Hell, you just want to say what's up? Come pay for that
It's
shit.
the best shout out in
Hell
the world.
yeah.
Thank you all very much for listening, everybody.
L'chaim.